My father came to Australia in 1955 as a war refugee from Romania, where he had studied radio and TV technology. In the early 1960s, that my father started a TV and radio repair business and sales. It was 1965, actually, 60 years ago this year, that there was an opportunity that exposed Manu Electronics to flow measurement products. It was a customer who came into the TV shop in 1965 who had a bottle dispenser, and it was the way of measuring chemical admixtures in the concrete batch plants back then. He asked my father to replicate it, and could he provide a better control system. So he did this, and it was installed into the concrete batch plant in I think it was Botany in 1965. At that point, my father, after his exposure to the industry, he had a very inquisitive, determined mind, and he saw an opportunity to revolutionise that industry. So he embraced new technology, digital electronic technology that was coming, and he designed the UME9 rotary selectable batch controller and the first digital pulsed flow meter. So with those two products, he gave it to the customer, they installed it in the batch plant, and the business never looked back. It was the start of a revolutionisation of the measurement of chemical admixtures in the concrete industry. Here is my father's original design kit for the designing the digital UME9 batch controller. So he was a tinkerer, he was an inventor, and he used this CMOS cookbook to help design his products. And with this microprocessor from the 1970s, which states an eye to the future. So it was a vision into the future, and with this product he helped design the range of digital batch controllers. Look, the major challenges in the business, going back to my father's day, was breaking into the industry. This was a concrete industry that was pretty dominated by English speakers. So my father, being an immigrant with limited English, it was a challenge to basically connect and communicate with them. But through his ethnic charisma, he used it to his advantage. He joked around, he humoured, coupled with his revolutionary ideas and products, he was able to break into the industry. Another one is the early 1970s. So Australia was an imperial system. Everything was in pounds, in ounces, gallons. So to change the equipment from an imperial measurement system to a decimal system and change the equipment was another technological challenge. Some of the key moments in the business, we can start from the 1970s. So it was that point where my father embraced the digital technology. And as a boy, I was some 10 years old, I remember he used to drive me to the MCO water meter factory in Waterloo in Sydney, where they were making domestic water meters. We would pick up the manufactured finished product from MCO and then bring them back to our Willoughby premises. And there we would strip out the meters, and we were using economies of scale to then put in our pulse rate technology. So those flow meters became the first in the world 1,000 millilitres per pulse flow meter. That's 1 mil per 1 pulse. That is a highly accurate measurement for a 20 millimetre size flow meter. We get to the 1980s, and that was another decade of great change basically in our product range. We designed the compact panel mount ME188 batch controller. It was quite revolutionary again. As our sales overseas started to expand, we had to meet that demand with a change in our manufacturing techniques. I saw we needed to expand the premises. We were in Old Pittwater Road, Brookvale at the time, and we built mezzanine levels to expand the area for the business. And then that reached critical mass in the late 1990s. After we were exporting 40% of our sales to overseas destinations, we had to look for new premises. So in the year 2000, we secured this current premises at 41 Carter Road, Brookvale. The Rotopulse flow sensor was designed in 1984. It is an advanced design which has been upgraded and enhanced from 1984 up until the present day, and it's inserted in pipes to measure flow rates from anywhere from 20mm diameter pipes to up to 2-meter size pipes, which were used in the Snowy River scheme. The major change in the 1990s was the rollout of the industrial PLC batching computer systems. So these systems rolled into the concrete batch plants, but they had their limitations, and our customers were used to the touch and feel ManuFlo batch controllers. So they wanted us to retain those batch controllers in conjunction with the computer operating system as a backup system. So we managed to interface the batch controllers so they could be as a backup system, a bit like digital and analog, so that if there was a glitch in the computer systems, they could fall back on the manu batch systems to continue to measure their chemicals and keep the flow of concrete going. As we rolled into the year 2000, there was another change in the industry, and that was the requirement of fast batch chemicals. So we had to introduce a larger range of flowmeters. We started work on the ME2000. This was a revolutionary product where we embraced microprocessor technology for the first time. So customers quickly saw the benefits of the ME2000 system, where again it was interfaced with the computer PLC control systems to provide a backstop safety system for interfacing the signals of the flow meters through the ME2000 to the then PLC computer batch systems. So if a flow meter was to block or fail, the ME2000 was very precise in its ability to pick up any issues, real field time measurement issues. So the ME2000 quickly rolled out in a lot of countries that were willing to accept that change, and it was a vast change for the industry and still ongoing today. A proud moment for me in this business is the fact that if you go to any concrete plant in Australia or pretty much Southeast Asia, you will find a ManuFlo product of some form. The introduction of the MRT Flowmeter series in 2016 was another really proud moment. We started dealing with the Sydney Water Board in the early 1980s. We were able to give them a system that's able to measure the discharge and then send a signal to a sampling machine which would capture and sample part of the water, so we could then go back to the lab and be analysed. ManuFlo were the first to supply electromagnetic flow meters into these mixing plants, and we're talking from every capital city in Australia all the way up to Hanoi in North Vietnam. From there, ManuFlo products made its way all the way to North China. That was a super proud moment. To the Middle East. And I haven't even touched on South America, where in the 1990s ManuFlo equipment made its way to South America, to Chile, to Argentina, to Peru. So up until 1999, the company was known as Manu Electronics, but we had no corporate identity that matched our primary business, that was flow measurement. So from the year 2000, the ManuFlo logo was designed and with colours that represent water, and from that day on, every single product that we manufactured had the ManuFlo logo on it. I'm very proud of that moment because it really identified our product range with flow measurement. So it's ManuFlo, go with the flow. So the last 60 years have been an incredible ride for the business, and the next 10, 20, 30, if not the next 60 years will be a very exciting journey for the generations to come.